Alright guys, what is up? Gonna do some eternal drafting today and try to rank up to diamond rank. So that is the plan here. Oh no, not ranked. I just said the word rank 3 times, so it made me hit the button with the word rank on it. But no, we are gonna do some drafterino. And I've talked about Peacekeeper's Prod before. I think this card is likely pretty good in draft. The triple justice influence is obviously very restrictive. But I think it's going to be better than all these other cards. Jack's Knife I do like as well. I like the Valkyrie Denouncer a decent amount. What does this do? Pay 6 to give it +2/+2. So it's a 1/3 endurance, which isn't horrible in the early game, and then it becomes a 3/5 endurance. That's pretty underwhelming. Threatens underwhelming. Actually like this card a decent amount. It's a Hill Giant, a 4 mana 3/3 for those that haven't played Magic. And then for 6 mana, you can make it a 5/5. But it is also just a 4 mana 3/3 when you need it. I think the best cards in this pack are probably Peacekeeper's Prod. Probably then Jack's Knife. And probably Noble Firemane after that. And then Valkyrie Denouncer is going to be my vote for the best common. But I'm going to go ahead and take Peacekeeper's Prod. We're definitely going to need some fixing in here. But, yeah, the card's sweet if we can make it work. And picking it up first means that we are a little bit, we're able to build around it a little bit easier. Endurance, unblockable, pay 5 to gain 2 life effectively. Sacrifice a unit and deal 3 damage to the enemy and a creature they control. Okay, a 2/2 with warp that gains 3 life. Still have to read some of these cards here. I'm pretty sure I like Roosting Owl. The card isn't insanely good, but he gives you an interesting take on Warcry. There's also a 4 mana 4/4. It's probably better than a 4 mana 2/2 with Warp, the Striped Arachnodon. But I think I'm going to take Roosting Owl here and potentially try out some Huru. I mean, I could see taking the Huru banner here as well, just because this is triple justice, like I said. But picking up another heavy justice card also kind of helps us because it just reinforces the fact that we probably want to be dealing with justice cards here. All right, Minotaur Oathkeeper I don't like, so maybe we could take the Alchemist, but probably not going to be taking a justice card here. This seems very mediocre, especially when Avarax Familiar is in the same pack. So I'm either going to go Avarax Familiar or actually missed that this was in the pack. Spellshield Architect is a card that I've been waiting to play with. We can maybe do some Huru student synergies, but I like this card. It is a 3/2 Aegis for 3, which I think is already pretty good, and then Mentor, give the student Aegis. Card's already kind of pushed for Constructed, which means when you can play it in draft, it is even better. Don't think I like Horn Grinder. Zenin Stranger is in 2 colors that we currently are not. So I'm going to go ahead and take a Sand Viper. The Bant color combination, which is what we call in Magic white, blue, and green, is a somewhat realistic one because Elysian and Combry cards will be more available in Pack 2. So Sand Viper is a reasonable splash, and this is a fine card. It's probably just the best card in the pack, too. Alright, a Zenin Banner, an Icequake, which is really quite good. 3 damage to each unit and the enemy player. It's going to kill off some of your own stuff, but it's also going to be pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and take an Icequake here. None of the other cards excite me. Take a Skycrag Stranger or an Argenport Stranger. Probably going to be a little bit more likely to want the Justice Sigils off of Argenport Stranger. So I'll take that here. Piercing Grief, you've heard me talk about before. I'm really not super impressed with that card. And then 6 mana +3/+3 and flying. Well, in Magic that's only worth about 2 mana. But the fact that you do get to keep around the +3/+3 is okay. We are going to potentially have some Aegis, so throwing some pumps on an Aegis creature is maybe fine. It's either that or we take the Voyaging Lumen just as a 6 mana 5/5. I'll take the Aerialist Kopesh, but I'm not super happy about that one. 4 mana 2/2 flyer is okay. Yeah, nothing else is in here. Alright. Again, not super happy about that pick. And I'll just take this for the dust, I suppose. Yeah, we're not really in any colors particularly. I think I am going to take Ridgeline Watcher still. And just Aegis creatures, like I said, are good with some of these weapons that we're taking here. And then a Topaz Drake to round it out. All right. Righteous Glory. Kind of interesting if we can throw it on an Aegis unit. Here's another Aegis unit. Though another option that we can take is to just grab a Serpent Trainer or a Static Bolt, which are going to be really just solid cards. We have a lot of 4-drops already, so I'm going to go ahead and pick up Static Bolt. Potentially the first of many here. Lightning Strike. Vote of Praxis I found underwhelming in general. I always lose when I draft Blue Combray or Bant, but you know what? Maybe it's a little bit better now that there's a pack actually dedicated to it. I do actually like Minotaur Grunt too. I think that this card lines up well early game, so I could see doing that. But Lightning Strike is so good. I'm going to take it. Stormcaller, that could be really cool. It's also an Argenport Soldier and a Throne Warden. Throne Warden might just have to be the pick. I'm trying to think, how insane is Throne Warden? I would take Elysian Stranger before I take Argenport Soldier, I think. Throne Warden is really good, and it's got Aegis too. Yeah, we're already kind of doing the Aegis stuff. I think I have to go for it. Unstable Form, I never draft this card. I don't think it's good. I'm not sure. I'm going to take Valkyrie Aspirant, though. That's a sweet one. So, I don't mind picking up one of those. I'll take Initiate, but I am not super excited about it. We're just not going to play Feeding Time, though. I don't believe. Stormlinks is cool. There's also Combray Banner as some fixing. But I think I like Loyal Watchwing the best. I'm also not super sold into playing time. Like, Initiative of the Sands is bad. Camp Physician is not that exciting. Sand Viper is our best card before we take this Hatchling here. So, yeah, I was going to talk about cutting time. I think Hatchling is actually really good, though, so I will take that. And I do actually like Ancient of Lore. I've come back around on this card a considerable amount. I think that this card is just straight up better than Vault of the Praxis, which I know I've drafted previously. Now there's some combos with Vault, but mostly I think Ancient Lore is actually just better. And because it will just draw you 2 cards immediately. It's not like you gotta pay 4 mana to do nothing and hope to draw some cards later. Elysian Stranger is also pretty good, and we do have a lot of 4-drops, but We actually don't have that many 4-drops now that we've rounded out the rest of our deck here. Though, you know what? Ancient Lore is double time. Okay. I'm gonna switch that back up then and actually take this Elysian Stranger. Ancient Lore being double time, I think, might just make it too difficult to splash. Alright, I will take Stormlinks. I can take Civic Peacekeeper because there's some combos with it. Probably not going to play Minotaur Ambassador ever here. So let's take Civic Peacekeeper. Maybe it works out. Probably not. Not going to try for it. Not going to play Camel either. Your spells deal +1 damage. But most importantly, it's a 3/3 flyer. And then we have Spark make a 1/2 flyer. And a 6-mana 1/5 that allows you to pay 5 to draw a card. That is really, really dirtily. But also just game winning. That one might be hard to talk me down from. That seems super sweet. The Highwind Glider. But Cloud Snake Harrier is also just really good. I mean, a 3-mana 3/3 flyer, quite powerful. Think I'm going to go for this Highwind Glider. Being in 2 colors means it's like maybe a little bit more difficult to get working, so I'm thinking higher cost, maybe higher reward. Wow. 3 mana to put a Spiked Helm on anything? That's probably better than Hoodoo Stranger. I like Hoodoo Stranger, but that's the next best card, but Emerald Ring seems sweet. Alright, what does this guy do? Oh, yes. Units can't fly this turn. Draw a card. 2/1 Aegis. I guess I will take the 2/1 Aegis just as an anti-aggro card. Huru Banner. A 3-mana 3/3 that gains +1/+1 whenever it's the student. Well, we could make it the student on a somewhat regular basis, but I'm just going to take Huru Banner. Let's just fix our mana and make this deck into something playable. Spark get a snowball, but otherwise it's still a 4-mana 4/3. Yeah, this card's fine. What does Harpoon do? Oh, when it hits the enemy player, draw a card. Alright, yeah, let's just get an Overwhelm creature here. I'll take Awakened Sentinel. I don't think I want to play it. I'll take Piercing Grief because I'm not going to play any of these cards here. I'm not going to play any of these cards either. I'll take whichever I own the least copies of. 1 damage to an enemy unit. I'll take Twin Barrel. Alright, again, I'm just going to go with whichever one I own the least copies of, which I think is... Oh, no. It's Burning Glaive. Okay. And let's take the one that's just worth the most dust. We're just rare drafting now. Yeah, I'm not going to play any of these cards. Alrighty. Probably should have switched to the other layout, but here we go. This is a pack. Let me just cut out some cards here, and then I will look at this pack and figure out what in the world we are doing. There might be some stragglers in here still, but that is the most of it. Yeah, let's cut this. Okay, so Hunting Teriax, 5/3 Flying Ambush, pretty good. Flying Lifesteal Aegis, pretty good. Flying Aegis Ultimate, also pretty good. And then Flight Lieutenant, I think a little bit expensive. And honestly, I would be happy to pick up a Crown Watch Longsword in this deck as well. Well, the Teriax is a little expensive. We only have one other 5-drop in Throne Warden, so I am going to take that here. And yeah, I think that's a decent one. Emerald Monument, pretty sweet. Icebreaker is our combo that I was talking about with Civic Peacekeeper. We can take a 2-mana 2/2 flyer. Kind of like the Emerald Monument, especially with how much Aegis we've got going on in this deck. Aegis and flying. I never really wanted to play Civic Peacekeeper anyways, so I don't really care about passing up the Icebreaker, even though we are in Huru. Awakened Student, I think, is super powerful, but there's a chance we don't even play Teriax Hatchling in this deck if we can't get enough fixing. I do think Emerald Monument is probably what this deck is looking for, because getting to put a relic weapon on a good Aegis creature is just super sweet. Argenport Instigator for the early game, or Cobalt Acolyte to give something sweet flying. I think I like the flying option, because we do have some big Aegis creatures, so just trying to suit them up with some more abilities and stuff could be sweet. Alright, I like this over the shield. Skycrag, Wyvark. We're going to be a little short on kill spells in this deck. I'm going to take Hatchling over Stranger, because without the Hatchling, I don't think we play the Stranger anyways, so kind of a moot point. Alright, I'll take the animated card. Then I will take this one. Alrighty. I will take a Finest Hour. There's also a Levitate, which is a good one. Finest Hour is really solid. Not going to play Detain. Maybe I could have checked to see how many playables we're running with, because we are a little bit on the low side. And I will just take this Awakened Student here, and we will try to splash time as best as we can. Alrighty, so yeah, our deck's at 29 cards already. What I like to do is just go through, make sure that we're not cutting anything that we could potentially play. I'll put even some slightly underwhelming cards back into the deck here. There's no way I want to play Camel. Alrighty. So, 31 cards. One of these cards is an Emerald Banner, and Emerald Monument we're just going to count as a half of a land. So right now we've got 15 and a half lands, which means, see, 15 and a half, probably want to play 17 and a half. So really just have to cut 2 cards. Can probably cut Awakened Sentinel, Initiate of the Sands, and be ready to go. Let me do a once-over on all of the rest of the cards here, though, before we do that. This is a 4-mana. Oh, it does gain... We do actually gain armor whenever we play normal weapons as well, so guess that's reasonable. Yeah, we just have to make sure we are playing a little bit... I don't know if I love the Snowcrest Yeti, but like I said, it is a good anti-aggro card. Trades with a lot of 2-drops like Argenport Stranger, Sand Viper even, and Argenport Soldier. That kind of thing. Alright, yeah, I like it. Let's add some power. 4 time sigils for a Sand Viper, 2 Teriax, and a student, but we also have an Elysian Stranger. What if we did like that? Do you have some double blue? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we do have a lot of primal sigils. We are also playing a Hero banner, so that does help us a little bit. Yeah, we're pretty much playing just as much blue as we are playing green. Yeah, we only need one time sigil. I think I'm still going to give this a chance. Just a little bit more time sigils to be able to play Awakened Student earlier. Because that is the thing. Awakened Student is a lot better if you can play it a turn or two earlier. And the hatchlings, you almost want to play those on turn 6 rather than just straight up on turn 3. Alright, well this hand has perfect mana, so we are going to keep it even though it is a little bit short on mana. This hand really only needs one more mana to operate with the Emerald Ring. Means that we're always going to have a play once we hit 3. We'll need another Primal Sigil to be able to play the Cyclops here. Bold Adventure is maybe not great for us. I don't want to use a Finest Hour to kill Bold Adventure. I'm not sure if I have many other options. Yeah, I'm really not sure. Not drawing a third land. It's not the end of the world, but it's not great. Meh. We'll maybe be able to get more value with it later. We already stopped Bold Adventure from attacking, so while we can't put any pressure on my opponent, we stopped their attacks at least. There we go. Want to give our whole team Aegis? Don't really see why not. The main reason why not would be to give the Cyclops Aegis. And then that would mean we just play Emerald Ring this turn. But this seems fine. There's something cool about having your whole team be Aegis'd up here. Because we drew a Primal Sigil, it now means that any power will allow us to play Jotun Cyclops. I think this is fine. Trade 1 for 1 here. It's not really a 1 for 1 because my opponent also gets a free 3/3. But I'll take it. Alright, let's smack because if they don't block, I think that they will. But if they don't block, we get to play a Cyclops and get a Snowball for free. They do know that we have a Finest Hour. Actually, they don't necessarily know it, but they can make an estimated guess that we have it. I will still play Cyclops, though. Alright, so now the plan is to start trying to take over the game with the Emerald Ring. We could trade off Cyclops with a Clockroach here. Don't really want to. Finest Hour can get us a lot more value now. Alright, Scavenging Vulture might get Static Bolted. Especially now that we drew another Sigil, because now we can just play Emerald Ring and then Static Bolt this Airboy. Yeah, let's do that. And we're just passing the turn because our plan now is to pump up Cyclops, bait them into a double block. Well, if they just attack, I'm going to say no blocks, and we are going to counterattack them for more damage here. Alright, Striped Arachnodon. That makes their play make sense. I will trade Finest Hour on the Elysian Stranger for Striped Arachnodon, or maybe they just block this here. You know what? We also have a lot better defensive capabilities now. Yeah, okay, let's just stay back ourselves. There's no real need to rush this game. We could attack. They probably just don't block. Then they swing in for 8. We Finest Hour here. Go down to 11. But if we just stay back on defense, they don't have great attacks. Yeah, this guy coming in means that I will trade Finest Hour for this. It's somewhat likely that we could get decent value off of a Finest Hour later. But the fact that we're doing this on an Aegis creature makes me feel somewhat safe here. Just a Devour is fine. I will still count that as value. They did technically get card advantage over us there, but there's not that much we can do about that. And I'm going to start pumping Loyal Watchwing. Could start pumping the Stranger so that it has a little bit better blocks on the ground, but I think our ground is handled. And I just want to start getting in with a huge flyer. Yeah. I think we're okay with this. Yeah, I'm going to block like this. Either way, it's kind of bad for us if they have Dark Return. But yeah, this is perfectly fine. They're going to get a Time Sigil depleted, and they're going to execute our big boy. Okay. Well, now we've got to find something. Cobalt Acolyte is not quite that, but what I can do is make Cobalt Acolyte a slightly better blocker and smack him for 2. So now Cobalt Acolyte can trade. That probably is enough to make us win the race. And we're really just in a top deck war at this point. I'll block the clock. Well, isn't that a stinker? Okay. Well. Not sure I have any way to deal with that. If I draw Throne Warden, that's decent. Roosting Owl doesn't do anything for us already. Yeah, this guy's got Overwhelm, so... Oh, I wonder if I canceled this. Blocked here, take 3. Chump block, positive battle. Yeah, that would have made me survive for one more turn, but I don't know how fruitful that could have possibly been. Alright, that would have been lethal as well. Oh, geez, one or both? Oh, the first option is 2 okay, both options are 2 things. Yeah, that's pretty good. That definitely would have killed us then, regardless of what we had possibly done. Hey, I did play 10 units with flying, though, so not all is lost. That'll give us some free silver. Not too shabby. All right. Alrighty, an awakened student that we can't cast and a hatchling that we can't cast. I'm going to ship it back. And this didn't get that much better, but we are hunting down Justice mana at this point. Alrighty, that definitely improved then. Give me 1 second here. I am just reading something on my phone. Oh, that's why. Okay. Never mind, never mind. Don't mind me. Okay. So we're also only 1 influence off of Peacekeeper's Prod. There's a lot we can do here. I think I'm just going to play a hatchling, though. We'll save the Aegis on the Architect. Yeah, let's just play a 3/1 flyer. No sense attacking. They can just block, and our creatures will bounce off of each other. And then an Amber Acolyte. Alright, so this is definitely going to be what we will want to give Aegis to. So for right now, let's just play another hatchling and smack for 2. And this is an ultimate for 6, right? It is. Right, that's a little bit scary of a card now. I think I'm just going to continue to make flyers, though. We'll trade off Acolytes if my opponent wants to do that at some point. I'm hitting my opponent for 6. They're hitting me for 3. So we've got them on a 3-turn clock here. That card's a little bit scary. And the student now having lifesteal means we are going to have to find a way to deal with this dude. Sand Viper's not bad. Oh yeah, when they give this +2/+2, how are we going to deal with that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's say it kills 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, yeah, it can really do that. So if they just ultimate, they can attack with this and we can't even block it. A 5/6 would be able to deal 5 damage, clear out these guys. Oh, but if they just attack like this, we might be able to make something happen. Top priority should be the ultimate creatures. Could also do something like this. And then throw big blocks on this guy. If they have a kill spell, they're going to blow us out here, but looks like they do. No, they're just ordering damage. Okay. All right. All right. That's not that bad then. That's a pretty good card, though. Alrighty. So we can give our Jotun Cyclops some bonuses by attacking and then playing a 4/3. We can also try to double block Reliquary Raider. Oh, but the snowball kills the long shot marksman, which means they only have 1 more turn to ultimate. They probably will be able to, though. Yeah, I like the pressure that we get from getting a snowball, though. It pretty much forces my opponent into ultimating this next turn, which I think is the best thing that we can do here. Obviously, if they do that, they're going to have some good attacks. Yeah, so they attack. They could find their additional power now. I don't think I want Reliquary Raider to continue to attack us multiple times here. Cool. Okay. So we just got a snowball. Let's definitely fire that off. Oh, they're going to save it. Safe return. Okay. Yep, that's reasonable. Think we just want to Spell Shield Architect our Argenport Stranger before we make it a 5/4 flyer. Seems good to me. Our opponent hasn't had anything in the form of removal just yet, but that could definitely come in the near future. Yeah, this isn't a good attack here. This is a fine attack. And I am going to go ahead and make this trade, I think. It doesn't let me make this double block next turn, but if I play the Throne Warden, then a lot of their attacks aren't going to work anyways. Alright, Stranger time. Seems fine. So here's what I'm thinking. If we give this +3 attack and attack this turn, it's not going to change our clock any. Putting them down to 19 still means that they are 4 hits of 5 away. So let's just do this. Commit Throne Warden to the battlefield. That's going to stop a lot of their attacks here. Argenport Stranger getting big. Flying Aegis. And bigger. Yeah, that's not even to mention the fact that my opponent might even pump it up with some Stranger synergies. I am tempted now to attack with Throne Warden almost. No, I don't think that that's good. So what happens if we put them down to 17? Well, it's 6 times 3. It's also 9 times 2. Okay. We're going to try to win the game by blocking just with Spell Shield Architect and Throne Warden. If we can decline on blocking with both of, or all of our flyers, rather, which I think we might be able to. Yeah, like this ultimate here, at the same time, this ultimate is such a tasty triple block for me. I might not even lose my flyer. Actually, I don't think I'm going to. Oh, yes, I am. I'm going to lose Throne Warden, and I'm going to lose the flyer. But you know what? I still have... Oh, I'm an idiot. Oh, I'm so bad. Whoops. All right, well, that's going to probably cost me the game here then. Oh, I can't even play Peacekeeper's Prod. Yeah. Alrighty, well that is super awkward. Peacekeeper's Prod's not even going to work anymore. In my head, the long shot marksman was just going to kill my one guy. Yeah, that wound up working out a lot worse than it could have. Now I think I have to do something like this. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure this is winnable at all. So, I can make this big enough to block here, and then I chump block here, take 7. Go down to 2. Alright, well with this attack I'll only take 4. I guess this is a fine attack for my opponent. So I need to draw another Argenport Stranger is basically what I had to draw. So that I had a 2/2. But I don't have another Argenport Stranger in the deck. I made a big mistake there. I deserve to lose. Well played. Yeah, go fuck yourself. Yeah, that was a pretty bad mistake. I'm a little tired today, as you can probably tell. But that's no excuse. I like this hand. Doesn't have a time mana. Can't play the Cyclops either, but with one more power of any type, I can play the Cyclops and the Watcher. That'll do it. Doesn't have a turn 3 play either. Guess I wouldn't mind. Ooh, that's a pretty sweet turn 3 play. Alright, I'll take it. Well, now we have plays until the rest of the game. Can Emerald Ring take it home is the question. It's not a bad draw either for when we have 5 mana. We can play Argenport Stranger and Emerald Ring. If we just have 4 mana, we can Snowball plus Ring, or we can Ridgeline Watcher. Either of those work. Went with the Jotun Cyclops first, just because we can guarantee that we're getting the Snowball here, so might as well. Might as well get it while the getting is good. Guerrilla Fighter, is that going to destroy our Aegis? Yeah, good play. So if we just go ahead and Emerald Ring this, they can't block it. We might want to keep Snowcrest Yeti back to block the Guerrilla Fighter. But I like this otherwise. Smack you for 6. We're back in it. Emerald Ring is going to bring us home. Yeah, let's definitely go ahead and offer that trade. Alrighty, so we traded a Pummel for our 1-drop. They also got a Warcry and a Scry, which both of those things are worth something. Would love to draw a land here so that we can go Argenport Stranger and continue to ring up a beating. Yeah, let's just keep making our Cyclops bigger. It's a smack for 7 now. I think this is going to be hard for them to defend against. Maybe I could have just put that on the flyer. I feel like the flyer's a little bit more fragile. Whereas this Cyclops probably is not going anywhere. They're going to have to keep back some blockers just to try to deal with it. So we have lethal next turn, just with Emerald Ringing this, attacking, and then snowballing. How do they have to block this? I guess they'll just triple block it. 7. That's how many this is. They only have 7 points worth of toughness. Which means I think... Okay. Well, this is fine then, too. Yeah. Wait, do we just have lethal right now? Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. We did potentially have lethal, which is why I went for it. I'm going to take out the Warcry rather than the 3/5. We're losing all of our ground creatures. The awkward thing is that they gained health as well, which means we are now not going to have lethal for next turn. Even if we draw the mana for Icequake, we won't have lethal. Alright, this was definitely a way to lose this game. Got me on like a 3-turn clock. They still can't really attack that much. I guess I just try to draw, or rather hope to draw a any weapon for this. Any weapon, we can either give it +3/+3 in flying or +3/+2 in stun an enemy unit. No blocks. We're going to go down to 8 here. Oh, we can also just Icequake for lethal. Oh, come on. Oh, they have a spell. Purify. Drat. Okay. Oh, this is like so weirdly close. But I think I lost it. I wonder if I should have even powered it up. Yeah, they should just be swinging out here because I'm tapped out. So I have to chump block. We can put him down to 1, but that is not going to be enough. So close, yet so far away. And that is a pretty crushing defeat here. 0-3. Good game, my friend. That'll kill us. Oh, 1 life point. 1 life point. All right, I definitely could have played that one better. For sure. All those games, really. I'm going to do one more draft here. If I lose again, then I'm going to take that as a sign that I am way too tired to be playing today. But for now, let's give it another shot. World Joiner is the pack 1, pick 1 in this draft. And I've opened this card before, but let me just remind myself what it does. 9 mana, 8/8. When it attacks, each enemy unit gets -1/-1, and she gains that much attack and defense. All right, so we're going to be playing a World Joiner draft here. This card is super expensive. We pretty much need to focus on any ramp that we see in order to help us get this World Joiner at. Prophetic Stranger could be cool too. I mean, it's in our colors, and we're looking to play expensive cards. It's a 7 mana 6/6 at the very least, with some crazy high upside. So yeah, this is like, do we want to just start taking things like Amaran, Archaeologist already? Vara's Choice probably isn't that great. Sure, let's take Archaeologist. Try to curve out up to World Joiner. Alright, this doesn't really give us that much here. Cloud Snake is not exciting. Might just take Huru Stranger. Oh, you know what? Long Shot Marksman is still good. even though it is not a stranger. Strangers can definitely get some higher preference with Prophetic Stranger here. But yeah, let's try to make this work. All right, Argenport Stranger. Just grabbing some random ones. Animated Zenin Banner. That seems sweet. Nothing really in this one. We are going to potentially be able to splash some colors. Just totally choked on the words. Trying to say more than one word at once here. But is this card any good? Mentor, give the student flying. It's like a big Amber Acolyte that, or not Amber Acolyte, the Blue Acolyte, Cobalt Acolyte, but that silences your guy for the turn. So I don't know about all that. None of these cards really jump out at me. Sure, I'll take Skywalk Instructor. Give one of your units Deadly, Flying Revenge. I like Valkyrie Denouncer. It's not really in our colors. Zenin Stranger is, though. Zenin Stranger is definitely in our colors. All right, I think I'm going to take Argenport Banner here. Let's hide Valkyrie Denouncer for right now. Tireless Stranger, I think I like. We already have Argenport Stranger, so this could be a decent fit. Argenport plus Zenin. There is the Memory Keeper, which is cheaper. And what's up, Kaleri? How you doing, my man? It's cheaper and on color. Oh, wait, it's not cheaper. Same amount of mana. Let's take Tireless Stranger. Copper Hall Shieldman, I don't think I'm going to want to play, but we shall see. Alright, Infinite Hourglass. I think we're just going to go for a Loyal Watchwing or a Stone Scar Magus here. Stone Scar Magus is a little bit better at controlling the board and getting us up to World Joiner mana, so I'm down for it. Combray Stranger seems great. Emerald Monument. I feel you. It's too easy to do is why. Is my chat popping up? Oh, yes, it is popping up on the screen. Cool. Combray Stranger, I think, has got to be the pick here. I like Towering Tarazan a lot. Emerald Monument's really good. Safe Return is reasonable. Blood Beetle's even good, but this is a World Joiner Stranger deck. When you open up a legendary creature, sometimes that is a little bit of a license to play a little bit silly. World Joiner Strangers. Just fixing the stream title there to something a little bit more clickbaity. So, what else do we want to do now? Desperado as a 3-mana 3/2 that can kill a unit. Horned Verlunk as a mid-rangey defensive card, or Direwood Rampager as another fatty boom boom. I'm a little bit worried Desperado excuse me, I'm a little bit worried Desperado won't actually connect and get the infiltrate off, at which point I think Horned Verlunk is a decent amount better. Horned Verlunk's also potentially better in a 3-color deck, though we're going to need a lot of shadow influence for World Joiner anyways. At the same time, I think I'm just going to take Horned Verlunk there. Champion of Progress, well, that's pretty interesting. Another thing... Another thing that is potentially interesting is Sauropod Wrangler in a deck with World Joiner in it. The problem is that I think what's going to be equally as tough is making sure that we have 3 of each influence requirement. It's not just about getting to 9 mana. It's about making sure that we have 3 of each. Champion of Progress gives us another interesting direction to go in. Minotaur Ambassador helps ramp us up to the World Joiner. Amber Acolyte is just a really solid card. Thing is, I'm never going to cut Amber Acolyte, regardless of what I do. But you know what? This is a 6-mana 6/6. That's also not too shabby. It makes the Archaeologist a little bit better in that we can build towards having a lot of time influence late game as well. We never need to make this an 18/18. A 12/12 will always suffice. Alright, I'm going to take a 6-mana 6/6 with some upside and see where that gets us. Direfang Spider or Knife Jack, also a Storm Lynx. I'm going to take Direfang Spider. See if that can get us to the late game here. District Infantry, certainly not what we want to be doing. Devour is probably a little bit underwhelming, though. It has upside when your opponent uses a removal or blows you out with a trick. You can turn it back on them. Alright, let's take Horde for luck. Not really crazy about Copperhall Recruit. I guess I'm okay with taking the first safe return. Don't want too many of those, but one could be okay. Scavenging Vulture gives us some air assistance. Predator's Instinct is not that great in our current deck, but I think it might find a use, especially alongside the safe return. Take Detain, but I think we're going to cut that. I'm going to take a third Horned Verlunk. Not happy about that. Direwood Rampager I'll take, even though I don't think we need it. And I'll cut the Hellfire Rifle. Alright, what the hell does this do? Molat and Nakova. Flying Aegis. Spark 4 to everything on their side of the board. Wow. There's no way we could play this. I don't know how excited I am about a Tireless Stranger, though. Tireless Stranger's actually decently exciting. That card's not great. It's fine. Also not great. Longshot Marksman is definitely the best card. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take this legendary. And that way I'll have it for constructed purposes, should that ever come up in the future. I don't think anybody's going to fault me for that. I don't think the card is that great. But you never know. And then I'll take a Tireless Stranger here. Don't really get tired of picking up cards like that. Take a 4-mana 4/4, and I think that's going to be the pick. So also a 5-mana 3/5 with Life Force, an Awakened Sentinel. Also not too shabby. You know what? I think I am going to take Awakened Sentinel here. I like it, and we have a lot of 4-drops already with all those Horned Verlunks. You don't want too many 5-drops either, but yeah, I don't think Awakened Sentinel is that bad. We can take another Zenin Banner or another Argenport Stranger. I'm going to favor the Strangers because we do have some Stranger synergies. And we can also just start taking mostly off-color Strangers here as well. All of our Strangers so far have been in our wedge here. Huru Stranger does build towards Champion of Progress. Just listen to this music here. It's pretty silly. Alright, yeah, let's take Huru Stranger. Let's just do some strange things here. Argenport Banner, Zenin Stranger, both seem really good. I feel like we've got to be hitting the Stranger cap at some point. But we can cut Predator's Instinct and Safe Return maybe, and probably even the Spider with how many Strangers we have. Yeah, I'm going to keep the Strangers coming, and that means I can keep taking Strangers as well. Valkyrie Denouncer, you guys know I like that card, and that is pretty good because we are already in those colors as well. Don't think we need Noble Firemane. Maybe Pack Hunt works in this deck. I don't think so, but maybe. Huru Banner is an off-color banner. Roosting Owl as like one of our first flyers even. It's awkward that we don't have more flyers up until this point, but take Roosting Owl, I guess, and then I'll take another Zenin Stranger, I suppose. There's also Sanguine Sword. No, that could be pretty good. I just want to take all the Strangers is the problem. Prophetic Stranger could be absolutely bonkers. Give your whole team +5/+5. It's pretty much a better Pack Hunt. Nah, let's go for it. Stranger up. Let's do it. Alright. Emerald Ring and a Valkyrie Militant. Scorpion Wasp is a kill spell. Seek Power is mana fixing. You know what? I think we have enough Strangers that we don't need more mana fixing. And then there's also a Combray Healer, which I think is really, really good. But Scorpion Wasp is also quite fantastic. So I'm happy to take that one here. Valkyrie Spirit. Diplomatic Seal is a tricky one because if we don't get it by turn 2, it's just not going to work. So I guess we either take Valkyrie Aspirant, Stone Scar Magus, or Diplomatic Seal. And I'm leaning towards Stone Scar Magus to get us into the late game. Alright, let's do it. Friendly Wisp. Friendly Wisp works with Champion, Rampager, and Prophetic Stranger, probably. Sure. I think the card is kind of a win more card, but can also just work. So there's an interesting decision to be made with, like, Sauropod Wrangler. And the question is, would we even play it? Do you even play Sauropod Wrangler when you got this many Strangers already? I already have 7 2-mana 2/2s. Alright, let's cut this and cut this. This is song talking about spiders. I guess we have to keep Direfang Spider in then. I don't think this is fantastic. So Minotaur Ambassador does... I mean, the one thing that it does very well, you play it on turn 6, the next turn you've got 9 mana. It does also build towards Champion of Progress. Not that I really think we want to focus on the 6, but you know, with how many Strangers we have, maybe the 6... Maybe make... But you also just don't need an 18/18 ever. Yeah, you just don't need that ever. I think Sauropod Wrangler's probably a little bit better. But we already have so much early game. The problem is the flyer, the Friendly Wisp. Yeah, it doesn't trigger off Minotaur Ambassador. It only triggers off creatures with 5 or more attack. Oh, you guys can't hear the music at all? It's super faint, especially right now. Can turn up the music a little bit. Thing is, I have the music so that it is not too loud for me. And then I also have my in-game or desktop audio turned down pretty low. So both of those, they should be at about the same volume now, but I want to make sure it doesn't blow me out. And then, of course, if you're watching on YouTube, you're even more confused because there's absolutely no music when I re-upload it all to YouTube at the end of the day. This is a tricky, tricky pack. 39 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're at 29 cards, so we are going to be playing whatever cards we take here still. I'm going to take Sauropod Wrangler. Then I think I'm going to take Loyal Watchwing over a Dormant Sentinel. But you know what? No, having another big creature is actually good, too. Alright, sure. Let's just take another big creature. Ooh, Ceremonial Mask. That's a good last-minute pickup here. Yeah, Tower Top was also probably pretty good. I do have a lot of 4 drops, even though they're only 2 different varieties of cards. I don't really have that many flyers, though. And that is one thing that is kind of worrying me about the deck. But might be able to make it work. Can't really play Hatchling. Probably don't want to play Sanctuary Priest here either. So I'm just going to take an Excavate and cut that. Back Alley Bouncer is another pretty reasonable 4-drop. Yeah, saw your message a little bit too late, though, there. Alright, we can pick up a Loyal Watchwing here. I don't love Dormant Sentinel, but you know what? It could be okay. I'm probably going to play this one Safe Return. Probably don't need Tinker Apprentice. Crownwatch Longsword could go a long way early game as well. I don't think I'm going to play any of these cards either, though, to be honest. Crownwatch Longsword works well on the Loyal Watchwing. But yeah, I just don't think I'm going to play it. I'll take Tinker Apprentice and cut it. And I will cut Civic Peacekeeper as well. Alright, let's give the deck a once through. Predator's Instincts, no thanks. Pack Hunt, maybe. Civic Peacekeeper, no thanks. Yeah, one Safe Return. All these strangers. Wait, I have 2 Valkyrie Denouncers? Oh, holy moly, that helps a lot. I must have taken one really early and cut it. Cool. Okay. So 37 cards. We need to cut about 7 cards then still, right? I think so. Alright, my first thought is to cut Safe Return, Friendly Wisp. I'm going to hang on to Emerald Ring for a second here. We can cut a Horned Verlunk. Probably cut the Archaeologist, but I'm going to hang on to that as well. Valkyrie Denouncers we're definitely going to hang on to. I think we probably need to cut Pack Hunt, Dormant Sentinel, and I'll even consider cutting Roosting Owl. Yeah, it could be a solid straight Combray deck, probably. There's probably that somewhere in here, but I'm going to play World Joiner, because World Joiner's sweet. I think even if we played straight Combray, we'd be splashing Prophetic Stranger, probably. Pretty easily, even. And like I've said before, I'm not super concerned about actually turning on the Champion of Progress. I think maybe Amaron Archaeologist is just too weak. But it's going to ramp us into Prophetic Stranger as well. Alright, we'll hang on to it. I think the 2 Valkyrie Denouncers are going to help us a lot as well. And we wouldn't get those if we went straight Combray either, obviously. This deck only really has a few bombs that it has going for it. It's kind of a gimmick deck. Alright, it's definitely a gimmick deck. But I think it's probably still sweet enough. I'm into it at the very least. Probably want to cut one of either Dormant Sentinel or Direwood Ranger. Might need to just cut both. Which is why I cut the bird as well. Let's cut Direwood Rampager. I don't know if one of these two is better or worse. I think Hornverlunk might be a little bit better. Just on defense. This gives us a 17 land deck. Cutting Archaeologist for a land doesn't really seem to make that much sense in my head. Emerald Ring is also a good late game card. Alright, we got a reasonable split here between all 3 of the colors. 5, 5, and 5 right down the middle. I think I'm into it. Unless I cut one more Justice Sigil, but this actually gives us 2 different potential ways to get on Champion of Progress. So many Zenin Strangers, it's going to be a lot easier to give it time. But also with so many Zenin Strangers, it means that we probably have more of a need for Justice Sigils. Fair enough. I think I just liked the alliteration of draft into diamond, but have hit masters in draft before. But that is a fair point. Master drafter. There's kind of a rhyme in there, in that draft and master both use the short A sound. So this hand has no Justice mana, and we're on the draw. Let's give it a redraw. Let's shake it up a little bit, get some more strangers. Hey, we found our guy. We're not close to getting him online, but you know what? We find some strangers along the way, throw in a tireless stranger. We can make that work. All right, I'm into it. I am into it. We have a 3-drop, a 4-drop. Oh, that's bad. Okay, Stone Scar Magus helps, but this card is still super annoying. It does mean that we have a kill spell for him. What just gets awkward is like when they start giving this card quick draw and shit like that. Then all of a sudden they've got a 6/5 attacker. Alright, they do have a 3rd land as well, and a Gorgon Swiftblade. We are going to be able to block the Swiftblade, but we can't block the Swiftblade and the Beetle. And if they have a kill spell, well, things are going to get awkward again. They can't kill this too easily. They might just wait until next turn and attack with 3 monsters. Looks like that is going to be our fate here. So I can play a Hornverlunk or a Stone Scar Magus right now. Which is better? I guess Stone Scar Magus is a little bit more sturdy. I could trade off Tireless Stranger for a Gorgon Swiftblade. That seems worse. But Hornverlunk just matches up so well against these Swift Blades. I'm going to go for Hornverlunk. Just matches up so well against the board. That is a great point, Runbo. This deck is playing 2-drops. Let us not forget. So I can double block here and trade probably Hornverlunk for Lethrai Ranger. I dig it. I don't think they have a kill spell, or I think they would have ace-based. Cool. I'll take it. Alright, there is the 2-drop that we were all waiting for. We've got some nice endurance creatures here as well. Something like Ceremonial Mask is going to be decent. We'll be able to just get in for a quick 7 and then start chopping dudes down. I always feel like Infiltrate should trigger if you've got your mask on. Alright, well that's going to be the first card that we mask away then. If we can hit any power here. It's actually not a huge deal, even if we didn't, because we would be able to Stone Scar Magus it at some point. But this is easy enough. Let's smack for 7. What happens if they double block this now? Yeah, we'll wait another turn. Let's just get in for 7 and be happy that we are dropping our opponent down to 20. How's that sound? We are currently 3 mana and 1 time influence away from world joining our opponent's face. Obviously, against both of these two creatures, weapons triggering Infiltrate would not matter. But against whatever the guy is where you sacrifice him and then draw some cards, against him it would be relevant. Pumping Stranger. So that way if they kill it, we've lost like a worse card. Yeah. Just thinking just like a bigger creature. It's just safer. My opponent can't really commit anything to the board. Oh, that's lethal. Right? Yeah, 16. Cool. We'll go down to -2 with that one. Yeah, they couldn't kill either unit. And the pump was only for 1 turn. But are you saying it was better in case they killed it? Or did you think that the pump was permanent there? But not a huge deal. A lot of 2-drops with this one. We've got good mana with this hand. Though I think a lot of our hands are going to have good mana. A lot of 2-drops on the play I do think is solid. But 2 cards that we're not really that close to casting. Let's ship it back. Alrighty, this is what I like to see. Turn 2 Sauropod Wrangler. Turn 8 World Joiner. That's all we need. That is all we need to see. Oh, now I see what you're saying, Runbo. I could have pumped the Stranger and then attacked with both. Indeed. Yes. Okay. I agree with that. Smack for 2. If I play the ring, I can pump next turn. Can also play 2 strangers if I draw 2 strangers next turn. Or if I draw a second stranger. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now I see what you're saying. Yeah. I like that. All right, they are going to pump their Sand Viper, which is probably going to be quite an annoying little bugger here. We don't have any plays to make next turn, so let's just plan on next turn being a turn where we Argenport plus Emerald Ring. All right, Privilege of Rank. Nice little draw 2 for green there. Yeah, let's just continue to ring up. Sand Viper's going to be annoying, and I don't really have a solid way to deal with it. They're going to be able to ultimate it. But it's not really ever going to have great attacks. I can eventually ring it out. Oh, now they have 2 ultimate creatures. What is better, ringing every turn I kind of like masking this as well and smacking for 7 here. Yeah. All right. All right, no fast spells, no flash creatures. Just blockers. The Sand Viper, they can ultimate it and then attack my weapon. That actually puts me in a pretty awkward spot, doesn't it? All right, they're not going to. Well, that's good, because I didn't really think that through. All right, this card is not close to being active. I think we're just going to go ahead and kill Combray Healer now and flood the board. All we have to do is survive till World Joiner. It's probably not even great for us still. I don't love the idea, though, of just letting them attack with their cards. Especially because I'm pretty sure they could have just pumped Sand Viper last turn and we were already in a really awkward spot. Yeah, so here, pretty sure I triple block, trade Horned Verlunk and Sauropod Wrangler for a 7/7. They take out the Stranger instead. That is A-okay with me. Alright, Blood Call Invoker, we are just going to sit back against. We can double block if that comes in. Could have also just brought up the Marksman that turn. That's annoying. Get back a 7/7. Vara is a really, really tough card to beat. A really, really tough one to beat. World Joiner is a good card too, but Vara is certainly a toughie. So I can trade my board for the 9/9. At which point Vara just brings it back. Still a ways away from getting any triggers. I'm going to say no blocks, especially because losing Sauropod Wrangler puts me a turn off of World Joiner as well. Right, Scorpion Wasp I can definitely get behind as well. Let's go ahead and pump up this guy. All right, Hero of the People. My opponent's got some pretty gnarly cards over there. Trade off these two. I have no way to deal with Vara at all. If I can deal with the Sand Viper, then I'm kind of dealing with Vara. And I might be dealing with the Sand Viper or Vara next turn. Once this guy can attack in with enough quick draw that it's threatening their whole board. I have to take a turn off to use Awakened Student here. But that's worth it because we know we aren't going to draw a Sigil next turn. I really want to pressure my opponent, but getting a free card off Warp is worthwhile. Alright, Back Alley Bouncer bringing back their 7/7. Yep. So now we almost have to give World Joiner flying, or it's not doing anything either. Let's pump this up. So now if this attacks, we just block it, I think. Oh, we just pumped up their Hero of the People with our Tireless Stranger. That's pretty funny. Okay. Oh shit, I don't have triple time. Okay. I think I'm just going to keep going on this long shot marksman here. So what happens if I attack with it right now? They block it with Champion of Mystery and then everything else and take it down. It's not a good trade. To trade 1-for-1 with their 7/7. Oh, okay, my Zenin Stranger turned on my World Joiner mana. And I have a 12/12 from all of my Justice influence. That's pretty good. We still need to get Sand Viper off the battlefield, but the fact that we can play this and pump up our Marksman, I think is going to be the route we go. Also just play World Joiner here, but this seems like a sweet enough turn. So this will probably cause a trade with Sand Viper. Plague, I think we're actually okay with at this point in the game. We swing with this. I think that's almost just guaranteed to trade off with Sand Viper. Question is, I think I'm going to want to swing with everything all at once. I think that's just going to give me much better attacks. I don't think I need to wait until I draw the Stranger Lord, but I think I am going to want to swing with World Joiner. Oh, fuck. Okay. This just got a lot more serious. But now they also have less blockers. Alright, let's attack with these two. We only have 2 more turns to keep getting in there. They can just chump block. Alright, they're going to trade off there, which is what we expected, and they are going to chump block, which is what I expected. Alright, let's play World Joiner. And we now have to silence Champion of Mystery, which I don't even have any silences in my deck. I totally forgot about the fact that this was a champion. And was going to start doing us dirty like that. That is unfortunate. All right. So I can play Huru Stranger here. I can pump this up. I can A-space. But we're not killing our opponent here. And they definitely have us dead on the swing back. They can chump block or put Vara on the 15-15. They can chump block the 10-9. Positive battle there. Positive battle there. And then make some trades. And they only take 5 damage. Alright, well. My opponent found the line. I guess I should have been a little bit more aggressive. I'm not sure that I could have been aggressive enough to actually make this fruitful at all. But an unblockable creature will do us in. Unfortunate way to go out. But that was a pretty sweet game still, I think. Yeah, I don't think I could have, if I was paying more attention, done anything more there. Because the guy just turns unblockable. Guy just turns unblockable and kills us. Nothing I could really do. All right, this hand looks great. Trying to think if we had, because we took a lot of damage we didn't need to early that game. If we had just drawn a 2-drop on turn 2, lagging a little bit for you. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah. Guys are definitely a little bit behind. I'm not sure there's anything I can do about that. Once the lag kind of starts, I think it just happens unless I restart the stream, but then that is with its own problems. It cuts the VOD and kicks the viewers temporarily. All right, let's just go Zen and Stranger. Well, as past me just reminded me while I refreshed the page, yes, all that we needed to do was draw a 2-drop on turn 2, and that was actually a completely different game there even. Let's see, will they take 2 damage? Not sure if they will. Yeah, I thought that they might not there. My opponent is playing Skycrag, but we feel like the aggressor here, just in our ability to curve out. Our opponent doesn't know what's in our hand, obviously, but if I was my opponent and had perfect information, I would have made that block there. Blind Storyteller and a loot. Well, yeah, you definitely want to block if your turn 3 plan is to Blind Storyteller, loot, and miss your land drop. Oh, that's not great. All right. Let's smack for 3, and I'm going to play 2 creatures here. Just try to play the most threatening board. Means our curve isn't the best for next turn. If I had played Stone Scar Magus this turn, I could have played Sauropod Wrangler plus a 3-drop on this turn. But I think this is still probably pretty good. Yeti can trade off for Sauropod or Tireless Stranger. I don't think I want to give them that option. I think I just want to smack for 2 unblockable and let them trade here if they want to. Yeah. think a better board is worth losing a little bit of damage there. My opponent's still stuck on 3 lands. Ruthless Stranger. Uh-oh. I appreciate that, because I do. My opponent just gave us a pair of 4/3s here. And that'll do it. Yeah, I had a few plays that I could make that turn. I don't think it really mattered. We were kind of crushing him at that point. My opponent never recovered from only having 3 mana. Yeah, tough to do. Tough to only have 3 mana the entire game there. I'm going to go grab some water. I will be right back. Well, I did not get to see that hand that we shipped away, but looked like it was a bunch of lands. So it might not have been that great. But I did not even get to see it. Should have ran a little bit faster. This hand's awkward too, if we're just not having enough lands. I guess I'd rather have too many than not enough. Not sure. Have no idea what the last hand was. Weird that my opponent didn't block. And then they passed through their own turn. Did they mean to do that? Not sure what's going on. Alright, they're back. They drew a land. Or they had a land and accidentally clicked through the turn too fast. I'm not super sure, but I will take it, considering we did not have the greatest of draws here. They attack here, which is going to let me ring up and then smack. Could also play this guy, but I want to go for the more aggressive strategy here. Especially if my opponent is stumbling. Though putting our rings on the marksman might have been a little bit better. I'll trade that off. I don't care. I will play Stone Scar Magus if we can draw the land for it. Oh, that's pretty good. Snowball now kills our long shot marksman. That is awkward. Maybe I just ring up and sit back. Try to make a 5/5 eventually. Even if I make a 5/5, they can still attack into it and then snowball post-combat. Let's just play a Zendon Stranger. Pass the turn. Okay. Not too shabby. Then they can smack for 2. And they are still holding on to a snowball over there. Stone Scar Magus does buy us a lot of time, though. It's going to slow them down by a considerable percent. We can double block the Cyclops or the Treasury Guard now. Okay. Duelist Blade, also pretty good. Let's go ahead and shrink the Cyclops. and then trade with the Cyclops. It's going to let my opponent have the Duelist Blade around, though. Do we like that? Would I rather keep it so that they have to clear the blade with it? Yeah, I think so. Let's say no blocks. Go down to 14. And yeah, I guess that works out. We'll just do this. They're going to clear it with their weapon regardless here, but now at least we make them do it. Whereas before they could just attack again, and they're threatening just with the attack. Still can't tell what was up with my opponent passing on the one turn there. Maybe they just wanted a fair game. Doesn't look like they are quite going to get it. They tried. Well, I guess I should have kept that hand that I never saw, because this one clearly was not good enough. I'll trade with the 3-2 here if they let me. Just minimize face damage. We drop down to 4. We can't even stabilize from here. Yeah. We have lethal if they just A-space. Let's pack it in. No bueno. This hand looks great. One of each mana, some 2-drops, a 3-drop. Excuse me. May fortune smile on us both. Radar 16. Boom. Look at all that influence. How can we lose? Okay. I'm going to attack and then just play Loyal Watchwing. I don't really care if he blocks or not. It's not going to change my decision. Just getting these war cries is good enough. And this does mean this will eat whatever removal spell my opponent might have access to in Stone Scar there. But it is also going to mean that if they don't have one, we get to start war crying and just increasing the power level of our deck. So I think it's a worthwhile risk. They could have torched a Tireless Stranger just the same. That will clearly get in there. Yeah. So they could have torched us regardless, but this allows us to we would have got rewarded if they didn't have it. Unblockable, Destiny. Can trade off 2 strangers. It's only unblockable for a second here, right? Yeah. Unblockable this turn. Okay. We might need the life points. Never mind. Crown Watch Deserter. Oh, that's a good draw. deal with the Crown Watch Deserter. Now, they are going to give Crown Watch Deserter unblockable whenever they can as well. So, we will have to be prepared for that. We have 4 less life points than we think we might. And they're attacking for 3 in the air every turn now. I just want to Wasp sooner rather than later. Just to not be sorry. Yeah, I think I am going to Wasp here. Let's get in for 3. They're just going to take that. And then we will have our Wasp trade with this Blood Beetle, I think. I think I just saw another big lag spike. Is the stream like super choppy? 1 second. Alright, the stream doesn't look that choppy. Crown Watch Deserter is going to be big now whenever it attacks. And actually we can't attack into it either, so I guess that significantly limits our plays. Let's just play some dudes and wait. Looking to draw one of our bombs here. Ooh, put the rest on the bottom. Scheme could be really awkward here. Because they might have just put their free card on the bottom of their deck. They schemed for a land. But they probably put that unblockable card on the bottom of their deck, I have to imagine. There's no way to go back and see the log all the way to when this would have happened. But that was like 3 turns ago. Okay. That is the least of my worries here. I can lose a 3/3 endurance. Yeah, they really want to attack here. You can see him hovering that button again and again. Again. I think it's just more realistic that we get the time bonus. I'll go for time. Yeah, we really don't have any way out of this, though, other than just drawing a bomb before they do. Hope that's not too unrealistic of an expectation. Okay. That's a scary bomb. Looks like we are going to lose one of our strangers. That's not a huge deal. So we lose one of our strangers to protect all the other ones here. Had to attack with all of them, otherwise Minotaur Oathkeeper could have blocked. Alright, here's Spur On. So we are going to take 5 unblockable damage, and they are going to get a Warcry out of this. I'm sorry, we're going to take 6 unblockable damage. This might actually open up an interesting swing of trading back combats based off what their other follow-up play is. A relic weapon? Probably does not bode super well for us. We do still get to smash for 7. So basically we have 2 options. Smash for 7, put them down to 3, which means even if they block this, we have lethal attackers next turn if they miss. Or smack for 1, prepare to double block this. Yeah, I guess making them have something, when you put it that way, sounds pretty good. Now, if the something that they have is a +4/+4, well, we just lost the game. But if they just miss completely, if they draw a sigil or anything like that, okay. That's still probably pretty good for us. Block, block, yeah. Every time we draw something, it means they have to draw something themselves. Could have ace-space there, hit them for 2, but that would have been bad. Yeah. So do we want to hope that they have nothing and just go for it here? I am going to do that, especially when I can make my attacks a little bit safer like this. Has been a pleasure. Good game, my friend. They're going to take it all to the face like a champion. Good sport there. And, yeah, that'll let us get to 2-2. Back up to halfway through silver. Let me just edit this stream title. Oh, we're 3-2. I don't even know what I'm talking about. That's much better. All right, on to round 6 then. We're 3-2? I don't remember winning that much. This deck sucks. Just kidding. This deck is super sweet. And hopefully it is sweet enough to get us to gold. A bunch of 2-drops on the play. You know what? I'm going to keep this one. We can play absolutely everything that we draw, except for, you know, all of our 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 drops. But hey, don't mind those. This hand is still sweet. Nobody else but me. This is the Stranger Anthem. Nobody else but me. Combray Stranger, go. Get him, Combray Stranger. Interesting. Going for a Tinker. Not sure if Tinker's a good card or not. +2/+2 is pretty reasonable at a base rate. Just have to avoid Lightning Storm here. Lightning Storm would be pretty bad. All right, well, there's a guy. There's a guy for us to play. I'm going to go ahead and play Stone Scar Magus here. I don't think that there's anything that we could play next turn by playing Sauropod Wrangler this turn. It's just more mana efficient. Now if we draw a Stranger, we can drop them both. Hopefully no Harsh Rule. Not going to play around Harsh Rule. Well, now I'm pretty tempted to play around Harsh Rule. My opponent played nothing here. Oh, what do you guys think? Play around Harsh Rule or nah? If they don't have Harsh Rule, we win next turn. Unequivocally. However, it seems extremely likely, and I think our chances to win, should they have Harsh Rule, should they not have Harsh Rule, are still pretty high. We smack them for 5, put them down to 6, drop 2 more guys. They play another guy to block. They block 2 of our guys, take 5, drop to 1. Then we have 3 lethal attackers. Spider's lethal. We just attack with Spider, keep back 2 2/2s. Not to mention the fact that Stone Scar Magus can potentially clean up some stuff. Alright. We get punished mostly if they play a creature here that gains them some life. Okay. Calculated. Sounds good. Sounds good. all of that effort for nothing. But you know what? It is still, even if it's pointless, even if your opponent's hero or portrait is just going to concede or explode, it's still worth considering. We are definitely going to redraw that. Dr. Zircon, best of luck. Look Who Wandered In. We will get to play turn 2 Argenport Stranger into turn 3 Tireless Stranger. Hopefully that is enough to shake off the Grenadin onslaught here. I'm not sure if Dr. Zircon is a streamer or somebody, but the well, Look Who Wandered In emote is a pretty sweet one. Yeah, just attacking with this. I'm going to say no blocks, and I'm going to play a Tireless Stranger of my own to kind of clean up the field here. So by attacking with this, they probably, yeah, they're just going to take it because they don't realize I'm about to give it Endurance. So that was a pretty sweet Endurance play here. Obviously, in the future, they will know about it, which removes its versatility by a lot. All right, Rebel Sharpshooter getting pumped is super scary. But you know what? They could have just pumped this too. So it's not really that scary. All right. This I can deal with. If we know it's got a bonus, sure. Let it get in for 5. We go down to 16. Play a free card off the top. Next turn we get to play Denouncer and Spider. No attacks. We will start smacking with Awakened Sentinel soon enough here, though. I think. It just trades for Rebel Sharpshooter. Maybe we don't want to. Mithril Mace. Yeah, that's a little bit annoying. That actually kind of pressures me into attacking, too. Because otherwise I just lose the first half of my Valkyrie Denouncer. But then I'm just trading Awakened Sentinel. What happens if I attack with everything? They positive battle the Sauropod. They chump block this and they trade with Stranger. I could just let them kill another Tireless Stranger rather than letting them kill a Valkyrie Denouncer. I don't want to not play my cards because I don't want to just get out-tempoed. And while Mithril Mace does bring a lot of tempo to the table, what would also bring a lot of tempo is me just not doing anything. They do decide to take out the Spider. I was curious about that, if we would see the Spider go, because they did have something good. Interesting. So they do have one Stranger that we're going to be making a 5/5 here. But this is still pretty worth it. Pretty worthwhile here. So now I can block the Cyclops with, like, Tireless Stranger plus Awakened Sentinel. I can actually just block it with both. I guess I block it with my 3/5 and my 5/5. Yeah, that would be the play. And then my 6/6 can go on anything else, depending on how afeared I am. But the 7/7 does have to attack, which is why they wanted to get that Spider out of there. So, what happens if we block like this? If they give a +5/+5, or sorry, +3/+3, we still kill it. Question is it worth just doing this? If they give it +3/+3, we no longer kill it. So we're essentially throwing away the 1 power bigger Tireless Stranger for a little bit more insurance. And if we're willing to do that, we might as well just triple block. So we'll throw away our 3 mana card for their 6 mana card and be pretty happy about it. We could have made slightly safer blocks, but you know what? It's not really going to matter. We get to play a 2 mana 5/5. And then a 3 3/3 flyer as well. So we're just trying to clog up the ground here. Eventually, they might find a way to deal with Prophetic Stranger, either with a combat trick or with something else. We'll try to keep the Stranger out of danger as much as possible. You know what? I think we can actually attack with a Zenin Stranger here, too. Yeah, I think this is a decent attack. It's either going to trade with their Stranger or it's going to trade with both of these two cards. And assuming they don't have a combat trick on this, which they do not, yeah, that's a fine trade. Obviously, they get the rebuy of the Revenge. But we've got our own Revenge going on, too. These Grenadins have not done much for a turn 2 play. All right. So they get a big monster here. But I'm going to be able to double block this at any point in time. It means my 5/5, my other 5/5 can't attack. It has been a pleasure, Dr. Zircon. All right. That makes us 5-2. And Dr. Zircon goes down to the Prophetic Stranger. Is that the name of the card? Prophetic Stranger? Well, either way, it did it. I'm going to take another look just to make sure I know what I'm talking about here. But yeah, Prophetic Stranger did in Dr. Zircon. Very sweet. So that makes us 5-2, a lot better of a record than the draft earlier on where I just rattled off an 0-3 and almost fell asleep. But I'm feeling a little bit more awake right now. A little bit more woke, if you will. And we should be able to finish off this stream strong. All right, King of the Rabbits. On the draw. I'll keep this one. A bunch of 2-drops. Well, they haven't done me wrong just yet. I'll put it that way. King of the Rabbits is planning on being our Huckleberry. And I'm going to do my best to make that not the reality of this situation that we're living in. Argenport Stranger for Argenport Stranger. But I am up a time influence on him. Suffocate on a Stranger. I'll take it. That'll let us protect our Wrangler, which will get this Dormant Sentinel out there a little bit quicker. Talon's good. Talon's going to kill another Stranger here. But my opponent's going to be pretty disappointed at just trying to aggro us down and us just playing a bunch of Strangers in their face. All right, Crown Watch Paladin. We will try to trade off for something like that. Super unlucky that Awakened Sentinel is right there and not just one card deeper, because I would have loved to have played that for free next turn, but I'll still play it next turn regardless, I think. We might actually just play Amaron Archaeologist, which will allow us to play a Dormant Sentinel one turn earlier. Actually, yeah, I like that a little bit better. Depends. Are they going to force us into blocking Sauropod Wrangler onto Crown Watch Paladin? And looks like they are going to deal with our Sauropod Wrangler. They are going to get the Crown Watch Paladin trigger. I will trade with this. Clear out their Aegis. Clear out their Warcry. And from here... yeah, I'm still going to play Archaeologist. And I'm going to go for a balance of mana. This is slightly worse if we draw our Champion of Combray, but slightly better if we draw our World Joiner. What did they do? They gave it +2/+3. No blocks. Okie dokie. Yeah, we can plan on a double block here, so I'll go for that. If they attack, reasonably likely that they could have a kill spell, but they've exhausted a lot of resources up until this point. Alright, they're going to stun this and get in. No, they're not going to get in. Alright, well then, let's play a 7/7. Ooh, that is getting ceremonial masked for sure. While a little bit risky, I think I will probably find it worth it to mask this and kill their revenge unit first. Alright, so they do have a fast spell here, so they are going to clear out our mask. Oh, it's just a Devour. Okay. Yeah, I can be pretty excited about that one then. Our 7/9 gets to attack for free. And even if they stun one of our units, we still have a few units back on defense here. So same thing. I think I'm going to go for the value mask attack. And now we're going to have even more blockers. I don't think I have to fear a harsh rule here. Watchwing could have traded off with the Scavenging Vulture, but this way it doesn't have to. This allows us to start getting in the air with our Watchwing. Alright, well, I think this is just a concession from my opponent, but I will play it out, I think, here. It's double block here, single block here, and hit the block button. Alright, so we trade. They make the worst possible trade there, and I think we're going to see them explode here. Thanks for the game. That's all she wrote. 6-2, World Joiner, Prophetic Strangers. One more game. I don't think we're going to hit gold off this draft, but this was a sweet one nonetheless. Feels nice to get to 6-2 after doing so horribly the last go-round. On the play, I'm going to ship this back. It always feels bad to have Awakened Sentinel in your opening hand anyways. Alright, this hand looks great, though. We'll lead with our animated banner. This is the last round here for those of you just joining us. Trade off Sauropod Wrangler, or I could trade off a Stranger. I'm going to trade off a Stranger with Oni Ronin here. It's just worth it to not let them continue to Warcry. Now, they might have a kill spell for it or something, but if it's a Torch, that's fine. If it's just Levitate, that seems okay as well. Alright, if we draw a land, yeah, we can continue to curve out pretty nicely here. Smack for 2. And they do not have a 1-mana fast spell, so no Torch. They could still have a Pummel, though. Foothills Alpha, not too scary. I can swing, trade Foothills for my 3/3 Endurance. That seems horrible. Let's just play 2-mana 2/2s. So I feel like we've probably stabilized the board. However, my opponent is reasonably likely to have some flyers as well. Especially as a diamond tier drafter. Alright. Zen Stranger's good. That means that we are good on Shadow Sigils. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a Justice Sigil. That'll put us one step closer to having an 18/18 and living the dream in the final round. Alright, so this guy, when he connects, you loot, right? Hits the enemy player, draw a card, then discard a card. +3/+3 while you have a bunch of cards in your discard pile. So this is a relatively risky double block. This gives my opponent more options, but it makes it very unlikely that they can blow us out. Yeah, so they do have a mortar. But unless they also have a lightning bolt, even if they do also have a lightning bolt, yeah. So that's why you quintuple block. Makes it impossible for your opponent to have any blowouts. And just like our opponents before, they leave us with a Sauropod Wrangler. Not quite the dream just yet. But I'm pretty happy to still play a 6/6. If we draw a time mana next turn, or even better, if we could manage to somehow draw another Combray Stranger, I think there's only the one in our deck, but that would be awesome. But a time mana or a justice mana will give us a 12/12. That should be kind of tricky for our opponent here. All right, Levitate and getting another Warcry with the Oni Ronin. Plus Levitate draws you a card, so not too shabby. Looks like it drew them a primal mana this time around, though. Do they have any follow-up plays for their post-attack combat? They've got a Spark Bot with the Spark Online from Levitate. That sounds good. You know what? This is probably a better draw than Time Sigil. Let's go ahead and give ourselves a 12/12 and smack them down. This is lethal in 2 hits. So I think we are going to see some chump blocks pretty early on here. My opponent is now playing around like me just giving this flying and killing them in one shot here. So I think we also might just see... Nah, I don't know. They're going to continue to chump block it with Sparkbot this turn. There's no way they can gang block it. They're not even close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, they would need a mortar... and they're a mana short of even playing Mortar. So they're just going to continue to chump block for the next 6 turns or so. What makes my opponents... Actually, it doesn't really make their chump blocks that much more awkward if we go ahead and draw another Justice mana. I would like to draw a Justice mana just so that we've lived the full dream of having the 8/8 here. Alright, Sauropod Wrangler is down. He did his dirty work here. Yeah, you know what? Stonescar Magus can also attack in there pretty freely. Drew the wrong type of mana. I guess if Stonescar Magus gets blocked by this, but either way, like, gets to clear Oni Ronin. At the very least. I'm down for it. Yeah, going to chump block here, going to positive battle here, and then we will just go ahead and clear Oni Ronin. It gives them one less chump blocker as well. I'll play my Time Sigil and pass the turn. My opponent can't attack, can't block, and can't really afford to take 12 damage more than once or twice here. Unlucky, didn't get the right type of mana. I think we'll see them take it here. Chump blocking with a 3-3 is a pretty bold chump block. All right, I would have liked to see them go down to 10 here. Looks like they will agree with that play after some deliberation. Because this means if they were to draw a 6-6 here, they would potentially be able to get out of the champion's range. What I'd love to see happen is for them to play a 6-6 and then me just draw a Justice mana and attack them with an 18-18. Permafrost, no! Alright, that's pretty unlucky. We're not dying anytime soon, but that is very awkward here. My opponent played it about as well as they could have, just chump blocking at every opportunity. I can't think of any reason to hang on to our shadow sigils other than for bluffing purposes, but it's not super relevant here. We can double block Thunderhoof and trade Horned Verlunk for Thunderhoof and then still be able to double block any of their other creatures, so board's not super impressive just yet. If we can give our strangers +5/+5, or sorry, +3/+3, we are back in a super commanding position again. As well, if I could find a 9-mana 8/8, that seems pretty good too. All right, another copy of Horned Verlunk. I will take it. I guess Horned Verlunk just by itself stops these 3/3s from attacking, eh? And my life total is high enough that I don't have to immediately worry about dying. That's pretty good, though. That'll kill us in not too much time at all. It's a 4-power flyer. We now have an 18-18. Not that that is relevant at all. Silencing it, of course, would make it go back down to a 6/6. So yeah, 4-power flyer. That is going to kill us in 6 hits. Or 5. It's one point short of killing us in 5 hits, is another way to phrase that. Alrighty. Our mask would be good. That'll let us take the flyer down immediately. What else is good? I mean, you know what? Can we be that upset? We lived the dream. We got the Champion of Progress online as an 18-18. We can't be that upset. We did it, right? 2 more turns. 2 more turns and we're dead. Assembly line. That's pretty tricky potentially because that could result in an additional point of damage if they A-space next turn. They do have more creatures than us. I'm going to keep both of these sigils in my hand just to keep the surprise factor alive. All right, they put us down to 1. Do they have a temper or a torch? Nope, they have a fire sigil. Well, we can make all of our strangers big and we can attack, but those Grenadins are also going to make it impossible to salvage up any lethal attacks. We have 6 attackers. They have 7 blockers. I'm going to go ahead and show it to my opponent. Show off our stranger strategy. And then A-space. And die on their turn. Grenadin for Spider. Eat a Horned Verlunk. Eat a Stranger. Chump block a Stranger. Chump block a Stranger. Makes sense. Could double block the other Horned Verlunk even. Not a huge deal. Would be kind of sweet to give everything -4/-4 here. Because those are like pretty clear blocks that they would make. It would leave them with a Ridgeline Watcher against my 6/2. But that would have been cool. Instead, we will die to an Owl. A little bit of a bad way to go out. But you know what? We made an 18-18. And I'm happy about it. 6/3. Not a terrible result. So I will claim our prizes here. Try to think of what I want to do for the end of this stream. If I want to do ranked, I want to do a different game entirely. I've got about an hour left of this stream and me. I'm going to go ahead and open up these packs first things first. Got 7 empty throne packs and 5 packs from the new set. So let's open these up first and see what we can find. Some rares. Not too shabby, but I pretty much have all of the rares, if not all of the rares from the empty throne. That would actually be something kind of interesting to look at. Alright, so I almost have play sets of all the rares. Definitely have all of the commons and uncommons. I think that this 99% is just because of the dual lands. So I'm missing about 1/10 of the play sets. Obviously, I've got one of everything. And I've got 60% one-ofs of all the legendaries. And then, even if you add it all up, 27% of the legendaries in, which is a pretty good rate, I think. And I've got all this shift stone too, so probably own set 1. All things considered. Because there's a lot of cards you just don't need 4 of, ever. Though I might run out of dust if I needed to. Well, will this help me? Sword of the Sky King? It will, because I don't have 4 Sword of the Sky King, but like I was saying, that's not something that you really need 4 of either. I was probably good on my swords. Champion of Impulse, that's a sweet one. Don't know if I had all of those yet. Ooh, another legendary. Moment of Creation. 8 mana. Play 2 Sentinels with power and toughness equal to the number of spells in your void. That's pretty cool. 8 mana, make 2, 11/11s is the idea at that point in the game. Maybe not that many if you're still a creature-heavy deck. Not sure exactly how to make that. I mean, Assembly Line does add to it, so that's cool. Another Prophetic Stranger. Card was pretty good, I have to say. I mean, we drafted a lot of strangers, but it was pretty good. Catcher the Devoted. That is a solid card, too. So what do I want to do here for another maybe 45 minutes? You know what? I have an idea, but I am going to check out something else here. Is that true? There's no people streaming the Pokemon trading card game? I might switch over to... Oh, okay, Pokemon trading card game online. That'll certainly get a few more people. Okay, yes, there are people streaming that. Okay. Was just curious. 45 minutes. Feel like I probably could just do another draft. Of course, as soon as the draft's over, some people enter the room. You know what? Let's do another draft. Might not be able to finish it if we do super well, but we'll give it a shot. And we will give this draft a shot with Bartholo the Seducer. Aegis, unblockable, pay 10 to draw a relic of your choice from your deck. So we're going to be looking for a relic weapon of some sort at some point, but also just a 3 mana 2/2 unblockable Aegis. It's got a lot of tools at its disposal already. So even just picking up any type of weapon, you know, like the double damage weapon, would actually be pretty solid in this deck. Strangers have Warp. I don't know about that one. This is expensive. What about Spur On? Also kind of expensive. I mean, Smith's Hammer. Yeah, I mean, that could be pretty good. Just a little Smith's Hammer action. I do really like Awakened Sentinel, as you guys know, and it was quite fantastic for us last draft. I don't own any, or I own one Clever Stranger. That's right, I did do one draft with it. But I think I picked it and then immediately went off of it. I'm going to take Smith's Hammer. It's not the most powerful card, but it at least points us in a direction here. Serpent Mount. I mean, this is the one that stands out immediately because we can get it with our ultimate. It's just a small weapon, but a 4-mana 2/2 weapon nonetheless could be good. Rabble Rouser could also be pretty solid in a deck like this. You know what? I'm going to take Rabble Rouser. There's the Twin Barrel. And Twin Barrel was actually the reason that I was thinking, you know, it could be kind of cool to go red. Put a Twin Barrel on Bartholo the Seducer. Like I said, I'm not upset if this deck we die with really quickly. That said, Auric Bully is both in our colors and on theme. Maybe we would just want more cards for if we don't draw Bartholo. At the same time, Twin Barrel is a rarer card than Auric Bully, so I could see that reason for taking that as well. Units Get Quick Draw isn't super exciting. Minotaur Oathkeeper could be pretty good in this style of deck. Let's try it out. 2-mana 2/2 weapon. 3-mana 1/2 Flying Lifesteal. 3-mana 1/2 Flying Lifesteal is pretty good with weapons. Cards with Overwhelm cost 1 less. How weird. Okay, let's take a Skeeter. I'm curious to try Skeeter out. 1-mana 1/2 ultimate gives it +2/+2. I don't love Swear Vengeance. I do really like Reforge. I'm going to take Reforge. We'll take Argenport Stranger over Sanguine Sword here, especially after how good Argenport Stranger was for us last draft. Let's take a Memory Keeper. Cost 2 less while any of your units are wielding a weapon. Well, I really, really want to pick up some weapons. We don't have any just yet. Sorrow Shroud would be our first weapon, but it's not a good one. Let's take Scepter of Nobility and try to get in there with that. Don't love Sparkbot. I'm going to take Huru Banner. Probably not going to play it. Flying Revenge. Don't really love that either on the Stalwart. Silverwing. Madness is okay. It's pretty hard to abandon Sword of Ikaria, though. This card's pretty fantastic. And great with Reforge as well. Rapid Shot's really good if we wind up in this 3-color deck. I don't know if we're just going to be splashing for Bartholo, but be mostly Rakano. But Rapid Shot and Argenport Soldier are both pretty good. Got some solid 2-drops already. I'll take Rapid Shot. I think we're going to be okay on 2-drops in these colors. Stone Scar Stranger, Crown Watch Longsword, Argenport Soldier. All very good. Again, I'm going to take Crown Watch Longsword with the theory being that if I had any of the other cards, I'd be happy. But Crown Watch Longsword is less replaceable. As I say that, here's a Heavy Axe, but I'm going to take Rakano Banner anyways. Battle Blur Centaur's just okay. Can take Heavy Axe. We do have a lot of creatures that want to wear equipment, and that's kind of the idea of this deck. Heavy Axe over Seek Power, though? No, I don't think so. I'm going to take Seek Power. That is really, really good fixing in Seek Power. Bright Mace Paladin is a great, great card to put weapons on. Blackguard Sidearm is a great weapon to own. I'm going to go for the Paladin. It's pretty good to put weapons on. Then I think I'm going to go for Crown Watch Longsword again here. Passing up Watchwing and Argenport Soldier, both good cards. Alright. Now we probably have enough Crown Watch Longswords. Fixing our mana, I'm still happy with. But now we want to pick up some creatures. I'll take Detain, but I'm going to cut it immediately. Dusthoof Brawler I could actually see playing, though. Duelist Blade we don't want to take. Cabal Bludgeoner, so it's a 4-mana 4/3 potentially. I'd rather take either Scepter of Nobility or Longshot Marksman. Even Hidden Shiv is not too terrible because you get to play it for free off the top of the deck, but I like Longshot Marksman. Quick Draw is a good source of cards to put your weapons onto. Cabal Rogue's good, but expensive. I think I'm just going to take Rabble Rouser. Try to have our deck be a little bit aggressive here. Auric Bully probably better than a second Reforge. Though, like I've said, I do like Reforge. I may have just passed a good on-color card there without paying enough attention. I think I did. I don't love Revenge. Don't love Strength of the Many. Don't think I like Grenade either, but I'm going to take the Grenade. Take a Grenade for you. Argenport Banner to fix the mana or Longshot Marksman to just be another solid 2-drop. Ooh, the deck could use a little bit more 2-drops, but fixing the mana I think is going to be pretty important. Another Auric Bully, that seems better than Cabal Bludgeoner. We're not really making anything the student, so not concerned with that. Fallen Oni is funny, but I don't think we want to go there. Spiked Buckler, maybe we play. When you're playing the bullies, you can be a little bit more liberal with your weapons. All right, another Smith's Hammer. I guess I like the Buckler better than the Hammer. I'm going to have to read this card. Once per turn, you may pay 4 and discard a power to deal 1 damage to the enemy player for each power card in your void. So it deals an increasing amount of damage. Don't think I'm super excited by that. Don't think I'm super excited by Burning Glaive either. I am just going to rare draft the Excavator here, though. Roosting Owl is probably fine. Don't need a second Smith's Hammer. Probably not even going to play the first. Cabal Countess is really good, and surprisingly, I only own one of it, which is pretty crazy. Emerald Monument is really good in this deck, as maybe Mithril Mace would be too, but Cabal Countess is also just a really, really solid card, so I'm happy to pick up that one. Assembly Line is good, but we didn't pick up anything that we need to sacrifice. This could be the time to take a Renegade Valkyrie. It goes really well in this deck. Could take a Stone Scar Stranger as well, but Renegade Valkyrie with 3 different Crown Watch Longswords here, I think this card's going to be quite at home. I could take an off-color Stranger, double off-color Stranger, so definitely not looking too good here. Sabotage isn't great. Rampage might actually be the most worthwhile card here. I'll take it. Not sure if we're going to play it, but maybe we can cut like Dusthoof Brawler and Roosting Owl and just be a little bit more aggressive. Gilded Glaive seems good. Frontline Cyclops I think is a little bit expensive. Zenin Destroyer is actually pretty at home in this deck. We could also take another Renegade Valkyrie, though, too. That's pretty good, and that'll give us a use for these Spiked Bucklers that we have as well. All right, let's take Renegade Valkyrie, then. We can take a Stone Scar Banner or a Smuggler's Stash. Wow. Smuggler's Stash is going to be all of the late game, and more that we could possibly need for this deck. So I'm going to go ahead and take Smuggler's Stash. That seems like a pretty sweet one. Then I will rare draft a 0-drop and pick up a Sword of Ikaria. That seems too good to be true, but it is going to be better than Treasury Guard in our deck. Don't think I want Combust. You know what? Katana. Yeah, this is a Katana deck. Yeah, Katana. This is a Katana deck. All right, couldn't keep it going there. Tried to just combo off with the Katanas. How do I like District Infantry? In a deck like this, I think it's reasonably powerful. Probably better than another 4-drop here. Hellfire Rifle or Mana Fixing in Stone Scar Stranger. You know I'm going to pick up the Mana Fixing there. Cut Dune Phantom. So let's give the deck a once through. Could play Grenade. Don't think I'm going to. Again, I just like to add all my cards back to the deck before we go in and cut cards. Rebuke, the deck is a little bit low on removal. Stalwart Silverwing means you don't commit as much, but it's not really a card, so I don't think I like it. And by not really a card, I mean you're sure you get the revenge and it comes back into play, but it's not really doing anything for you. It's just a 1/1 flyer. A 1/1 flyer lifesteal, 1/2 flyer lifesteal. It's much better than 1/1 flying revenge. So what do we have here? We have three sigils. Probably want to cut about a little bit less than 10 cards here. Start by cutting the Owl, the Brawler. We'll keep a lot of these 4-drops here, though. Let's cut both of our keepers. And Stalwart Silverwing. I think we're going to wind up cutting Smith's Hammer. However, Smith's Hammer is pretty good with Renegade Valkyrie. We do need to make sure that we have enough units and not too many attachments here. Though Auric Bully loves to have some attachments to go along, and Katana is pretty good. We might not need Rampage because we have so much else going on, but Rampage is also damage push, and it's a good combat trick. Detain we can definitely cut. Rampage isn't as good of a combat trick as Rapid Shot is, though sometimes it is better for the damage push capability. I like Scepter of Nobility because a lot of the times it's going to be a 3/3 weapon, so it's going to be Sword of Ikaria without the Warcry and 1 additional armor attached to it. So I like that. Yeah, let's go ahead and cut Smith's Hammer and Rampage. How are we looking on red in general? Red is definitely a splash. Splashing for Reforge, Valkyrie, and the Katanas. But we're going to have a Seek Power and a Stone Scar Stranger to help facilitate that splash, so I think it's okay. Smuggler Stash and Reforge are definitely good late game. And really all the late game that we need here. Katana is not that great of late game, but it is a pretty sick free roll when we are playing Bartholo. Bartholo? I'm not sure. I don't love Minotaur Oathkeeper, I have to say. Yeah, I think it's worse than any of our pump spells. So right now we are looking at a 16 land deck. It's kind of reasonable. Smuggler Stash is our only expensive card, really, with Reforge kind of being an expensive card, in that we might want to play it alongside something else on the same turn. A lot of the creatures in this deck are pretty unimpressive, but I think that they will be impressive once we pair them with the equipment. Sure, let's add power. 4/5/4. Sounds good to me. We're definitely a lot heavier on the green, but we don't have any double green. Do we have any double black? We've got Cabal Countess. We do already have a Rakano banner up on Shadow. It said we have so much more green than we have anything else. We do want to hit double green for Bartholo. That is more important than Cabal Countess by a decent margin. And District Infantry. Alright, the Stone Car, both of the Strangers add black. The District Infantry is also a 1-drop that we want to have Justice Sigil for. Alright, let's do it up. Alrighty, Bartharlo? I don't know how you say this card's name. I think it's Bartholo. I think it is Bartholo. And we don't have Bartholo, but we have perfect mana. I think I just keep for the sake of perfect mana. We are on the play. This hand is a little bit mana heavy. You know what? Let's give this a redraw. Let's give it a redraw. Let's throw away our perfect mana for the shot at having a slightly more aggressive draw here. And this looks like it might be that. So I can play Auric Bully here, or I can just play District Infantry. Either way, we are going to be swinging for 3 next turn. But you know what? District Infantry swings for 3 a little bit better, but it's going to be tighter on the mana. This gives us better plays if we draw a Crown Watch Longsword or a Stranger. Alright, Sand Viper is probably going to put an end to all of our fun here. Alright, they are going to take the damage, which is good. I like that they're taking damage, but it's awkward in that the longer they keep around Sand Viper, well, the longer I just have to hold on to these weapons, unable to cast them. All right. There is a Skeeter. And they're definitely not going to want to trade Sand Viper for a District Infantry. But maybe I can make that tempting for him. 5 damage is a lot of damage. All right, they're going to take 8. I guess I can feel somewhat comfortable with that exchange. And the fact that I have this Smuggler Stash in my hand means that, you know what, I can try to be a little bit more aggressive with some of these cards here. So Auric Bully isn't looking great. Or I guess I meant to say District Infantry isn't looking great. It's not a great attack here. Could just play the Bully. That seems very non-mana efficient. I think I'm going to put the Buckler on the Infantry, just kind of spread my damage out, and then attack my opponent, and they'll take 5. I have to imagine once I weapon up that that's going to be a juicy trade for that Sand Viper. Looks like my opponent agrees. And yeah, they're going to take 5, go down to 10. This Skeeter still is gaining them life points back. But we had to get that Sand Viper off the battlefield. Sure, we 2-for-1'd ourselves. But maybe we can just gain all that life back. Life Force, deal some more damage. Reforge is also pretty good. We might want to Reforge before we stash. We might even just want to Reforge right about now. If we swing, they're probably going to trade Bully with this 3-1. I could definitely see that happening here. Let's just smack. You know what? If we spike Buckler, they don't have any good blocks. Okay. Sure. Let's make a 6-6. I could have attacked with the 2-2 as well. It doesn't technically change our clock, but it probably changes our clock because they would have had to block it one turn or the other. All right, there's the Slay. So we've got some cards to stash back. All right, and they're going to continue to ping us for a few points of damage here. Yeah, this is what I was talking about, like the deck not being mana efficient in terms of not having enough cards to play here. So if they block, we're going to play Auric Bully. If they don't block, we're going to play Reforge. They do have a fast spell in their hand. That is definitely worth noting. All right, they get us with some life steal. They hit us with some more life steal. We're going to take 3 damage at the end of turn, and they do have a fast spell in hand. So this is a little bit scary. Crownwatch Longsword is good, though. Means that we can attack with a 4/4 into their board. So we'll hopefully draw out their quick spell, and then we can play the Bully. They're going to double block. They have to double block. They can't just single block, right? They're going to block and devour, which will trigger their life force and shuffle their Undire back into their deck. Wow, they got it! Whoa! Whoa! All right, that is a crazy sequence of plays there. They devoured it. They gained 2 life. They put it back on top of their deck. They drew it off the Devour. It revenged back into play. It hit me again. And then they Zen and Fanatic'd me for 4 off of all of that, too. So now they can attack for 3 and hit me for even more. They could probably just A-space here. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of damage. They don't really have the means to... Yeah, I have to trade here. It's just too much damage, the 2/2 lifesteal. So, Smuggler's Stash currently just brings back 2 mediocre creatures and a mediocre weapon. It is more mana efficient. Though no, it's not, because then I just lose to this. All right. Let's make an 8/9. Did draw a lot of our late game cards here, so that aspect is not great. A lot of shit going on there. Yeah, don't think we can win this one. They've got lethal flyers. We can Smuggler's Stash just to show our opponent how sweet our deck is. But, well, that does get us some style points. I don't think that gets us any life points. And my opponent has been doing nothing but gaining life points. We definitely dealt more than 25 damage to my opponent this game, but they gained it all right back. They got some crazy synergies going on, too. Yeah, Disciplined, Emanera cannot quite attack, but, I mean, unless you just want to A-space here. But they're going to be content with just attacking us in the air with a bunch of flyers and killing us. I will be right back, guys. Give me 1 second. Alrighty guys, so I am going to end this stream here a little bit earlier than I had anticipated. But if you enjoyed, feel free to hit that follow button to be notified when I go live, and you can catch the end of this sweet Bartholo Weapons all-in deck. I can throw it back up on the screen here for those of you just joining. But here's the deck. If you want to see me finish out the games, hit that follow button to be notified when I go live, and you can catch me streaming it probably tomorrow. Probably want to do a little bit more drafting before the end of the month here. And yeah, this deck is definitely sweet. I think we can get some wins with it. At the very least, we can have some fun. Also, if you are watching on YouTube, feel free to catch me live on twitch.tv/NoLucksGiven. And if you are watching live right now, feel free to check out my YouTube channel. You can find a link for it in the info below. Post my full stream VODs there, as well as highlight videos tutorials versus videos and other sweet content like that. I play a variety of digital card games, including Magic the Gathering, obviously, Hearthstone, Soulforge, and then some Duelist and potentially some Pokemon trading card game in the future, if there is interest in that. And then some other card games thrown in, but those are my favorite ones. So that is going to be it for me for the stream today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you had fun. Know I did. And I will catch you next time. Peace.